This is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 3/24/2021. This is where I look at what games are climbing up the ranks the fastest, and this is based on a Geeklist from Michael Alexander up here. Puts together every week, and I'll include links in the description if you want to subscribe to the list or take a look at the list yourself. So let's go see what's been happening this last week. So below the top 10, we have Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy. This is at 115. It's probably got maybe like 3 weeks or 4 weeks till it's going to hit the top 100, which I think it's going to, although its rate of ratings have gone down a little bit, I think due to just the availability of the game is not the best right now. And we have Sleeping Gods, which is well on its way to the top 100, possibly even top 50, I think. This game's going to climb pretty fast. I don't think it'll have the production issue or lack of production and accessibility that maybe Eclipse has. Micro Macro Crime City. So this one, I think, is going to start rocketing up. This is kind of one we've been looking at for a while. It got a review from NPI, which gave it a recommended with caveats, basically. It looks really cool, and it kind of is what I expected, although I wish they would have just taken out some of the adult themes in it and made it more family friendly. I think it would have worked much better as a family friendly game. Please make another version of this that's a little bit more family friendly. Dune Imperium. So here's another one that is probably a few weeks away from top 100. And its average is a little bit lower than Eclipse Second Dawn, which, of course it's going to be because Eclipse, is a second edition, and it has a huge following already of its first edition. We have Kanban EV. This one is rocketing up the charts. I assume it sold a lot of copies. This has high potential to hit the top 100, as I've said before. Lost Runes of Arnak. So this one is going up fast as well, but not as fast as Dune Imperium. This one I think is still likely to hit the top 100, although it's not going to climb as high as Dune Imperium. And number 10 is Cubitos. So we've looked at this one. This is actually, its rating, or I guess its new ratings have stayed pretty steady. And that's actually a good sign for it to move up. I don't think it's going to have the popularity of Space Base based on the ratings that I've seen. I don't think I've read any reviews yet, though. But it'll be one to watch. I do like the look of this game. I think it's a really good looking Cubitos. Number 10. Overboss, a boss monster adventure. So this one is a Kickstarter, I believe. I think I saw this a year ago, or maybe longer. And I think we're going to see a lot of games that were Kickstarters a couple years ago finally getting into people's hands, and we're starting going to see ratings on it. One thing I liked about this game was that it kind of looked like Legend of Zelda-esque. But I think instead of being... maybe it's taking like the feel of Legend of Zelda and putting it into a game. I think the look of it is really good. I like the pixel art on it, which... there's been some pixel art games. I just don't think any of them have been that good. I don't know if this is going to be that good. Let's see what it's actually doing. So it's card drafting, pattern building. Interesting. Game trays. This one must have done pretty well. And let's take a look at a couple comments on here. So it's getting some tepid, at least its recent ratings is tepid. So maybe we have another pixel art, like good looking pixel art game that doesn't have maybe a strong gameplay to back it up. Although, it's a lighter weight game, so maybe it's going to do okay with its target audience and a low playtime, which is actually, I think, good. If you're going to make a game that's not super strong in the strategy department, making it short, I think, really can appeal to a lot of people. So that's Overboss, a boss monster adventure. Number 9. Number 8 is Flourish. So we looked at this one before. This looks like a game that's going to be probably falling off this list quickly. A lot of these games, the Kickstarters, when they arrive to a lot of people at the same time, and so they show up on this list. But the ratings just aren't strong enough, especially for the initial people like typically when you get a Kickstarter, you're going to see the first people to get it are going to be the most excited because they're maybe the early backers or the people that are the quickest to play the game. And this one just I don't think is going to stand up to that based on even the first 100 ratings here. So that's number 8, Flourish. Number 7 is Stardew Valley, the board game. So we talked about this one last week. This is I'm actually surprised they didn't put this on Kickstarter. I think this would have been a good example of a game that could have done extremely well on Kickstarter. It's got the Stardew Valley IP. It's got the Stardew Valley pixel graphics or ish pixel graphics. It's got the Stardew Valley theme, which is very attracts a lot of people because Stardew Valley is such a popular game. And it's sold out really quickly, although I assume they're printing more. Literally, the eBay has taken off with this one. And I think you just basically play through a Stardew Valley game. It's getting okay reviews from board game reviewers, which means I think it's got probably a good theme. And I think it's probably for people that like Stardew Valley already, which is really, I think, I would say, if you're building a video game IP, you want to gear it towards the people that already like the video game. You want to make it for people that want more of of that feel. Don't do something. Typically, don't do something completely different. At least with the first game. So that's Stardew Valley. I don't think this one will hit the top 100, but you never know because it does have a strong IP behind it. Number 6, Bullets. We talked about this one again last week. This is a level 99 game. It's got a like Japanime or anime feel. Like I think a lot of their games have that same type of artwork, although it plays quicker and is a shorter game. I don't think we're going to be seeing this one hit the top 100 as well. It's just too lightweight. I think it's probably going to get solid ratings. I think level 99 games are generally pretty decent, and they have a big following. So that's number 6, Bullet. Number 5, Cantaloupe Book 1, Breaking into Prison. So I haven't seen any reviews for this game. One interesting thing is, after its kind of tepid start, it's been actually getting pretty good reviews, which makes me think that Friedman Freeze did maybe broke into some new areas with this, or tried something new that actually is working out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about the game. I am interested to see some reviews and see how this one does. I think because he is such a popular designer, it may have a chance to move up pretty well. So that is Cantaloupe, Book 1. And one interesting thing with this is, since it's called Book 1, I'm guessing there's going to be future books if it does well. So number 4, Street Fighter, the miniatures game. This one is another Kickstarter that just got delivered, and it's got an interesting thing here, right? So we have some people got it a week before, and the rating was pretty high. Now the rating's at like 7.32, which is actually pretty low for a Kickstarter game that's just came out. If you're not aware, this was I think a huge Kickstarter. I think a massive Kickstarter a few years ago, and it was a miniatures fighting game with Street Fighter miniatures that brought Street Fighter into, I guess, the board game arena. And I don't know if there was another Street Fighter game before that. One of its big thing was these miniatures, and I think they came pre-painted, or you could pay for them pre-painted. They look really good. They look just like in the video game. So I think that appealed a lot of people, or brought a lot of appeal to the miniature game, just for the minis. And look at the full set, man. That looks really good. Actually, if they came out, I'd be impressed if the miniatures. Wow, they actually this person just posted it, so the miniatures turned out really well. It looks like. So with fully painted miniatures, I don't know what this went for on Kickstarter, but I could see why it was a big Kickstarter. Now, any of these arena battle games, I think that there's limits to how long they can be, and maybe this is pushing the length a little bit. Although we can look at the comments and see. Love that it came pre-painted. Yeah, that's going to be. So I guess some people are. I guess some of this low rating looks like there's some tax issues with it, but actually the people that got it that aren't complaining about the issues with the Kickstarter is are saying the production value is really good. So, it could be that the Kickstarter company may have had some issues with delivery and people aren't happy with that, but at least from a final product, it looks like it turned out really well. And actually, I kind of wish I would have backed this one just for the cool looking minis. So that's number 4, Street Fighter, the miniatures game. Number 3, Red Rising. So this is Stonemaier Games' latest game. It was a collab between Jamie Stegmaier and another designer. And I don't know a huge amount about this yet, but it's like, my understanding is it's kind of a Fantasy Realms plus. And I think Fantasy Realms is a really good game. I'm interested to see how Jamie takes that and turns it into a bigger game. And I do, of course, like the production quality and the Stonemaier Games artwork that they or look they bring to a game. Now this does come from another IP, which I think is maybe his first take on a actual IP game. Maybe in the future he'll do some more, which I would be excited to see. So that is Red Rising, number 3. Number 2, Solomon Kane. So this one is doing exceedingly well. I don't know if I can't remember when the Kickstarter came out, but this is another Kickstarter that the idea looked really intriguing, and I was on the fence about backing it. I almost backed this one. But I think it was I don't know, between this and our Kickstarter, and I ended up backing the other Kickstarter. The minis look really good in this, and I think that it does have some unique gameplay mechanisms. If I remember right, instead of controlling the Solomon Kane guy, you control the statues. Let's see if there's any pictures of this. And the artwork they did for this is really good. Let's see if there's some pictures of the board. Yeah, here we go. So my understanding is you control like these statues, and you're like the courage statue or the defense statue, or I don't know what the other ones are, but you, instead of actually moving the guy, you kind of influence him, and he has some sort of like AI where he kind of behaves on its own, but he's influenced by your actions, which is, I don't know if I've even seen a game like this in existence. And it's a co-op game, which I believe it's co-op. Let's just check. Cooperative, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, cooperative game. And I think that, if they delivered on that promise, which they may have, the ratings are exceedingly strong. Tentative rating after one short play, very, very impressive. A lot of people like the great components, amazing work, original mechanics. And I think, having unique mechanics at this day and age, instead of just blending, existing mechanics into a new game is actually, difficult. I mean, it's a really tough design because I think that there's so many board games out there, and maybe there was another game that did this or some other ideas that came out before this, but for someone to put out a big game like this with something that seems original, I think is really good. So that's Solomon Kane, number 2. And I can't, I'm not willing to say that's going to hit the top 100, but it does look likely with a few weeks of 9+ ratings on such a big game. And number 1, Adventures of Robin Hood. So I think this is a Kickstarter again. Let's take a look at it. Interesting. Almost no. Almost no information about this. I guess it's a Cosmos game using cards as in the author's. Yeah, so basically it's another Legends of Andor game, which is on my list to play. I just haven't played it yet. And it's with Robin Hood. So Not your typical Kickstarter game, pretty lightweight, it looks like. Maybe lighter weight than even Legends of Andor. And I don't know. We'll have to see this one. I can't really comment on it since there's almost no information. But it's interesting that it's gotten this many ratings when maybe it's out in Germany. Um, but usually stuff like this is pre-released or pre-announced before it's released. So there you have it. That is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 3/24/2021. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos.